Typical sessions 2 to 5-ish, just a set of sessions built to create unity, build a cause for uniting as a party. Oh, you're talking about like sessions 2 through 5, like early sessions, SwanaSAUR? I think at one point that's how I thought about it, but I think that now when I think about, like, I used to think that those early sessions were about sort of trying to drive that unity, or sort of find their purpose together. Now I think I sort of put that expectation on the party designing their characters and their group before the game even starts. I would much rather everybody go in knowing each other's characters. Not their characters don't know each other's characters, but above table, everybody knows the characters, and they've sort of decided what unites them. I find that this takes a lot of the pressure off of me, and I think it makes a better final result anyway, because how many times have we guessed at like what's going to engage parties and just say, listen, you guys have two jobs. One is to come up with characters, ideally together, right? So everybody's like participating and feels collaborative from the very get-go with the characters, but also, why do you guys know each other? Now, that doesn't have to be they know each other beforehand, because to some extent, they're participating in how the game's going to go. They can sort of look ahead. They're like, well, like one of my groups, they said they wanted to run a guild together. They didn't start out running a guild together. That came together in those first handful of sessions, but they chose it, so they knew it was coming, so they could lean into it. I think that level of sort of meta play is totally fair. And it could be a simple thing, and it could be a weirder, a more complex thing. But the key is that if they're thinking about it and they're sort of also helping to plan for it, they're going to care a lot more about it, and they're going to help it happen and not be sort of fighting and resisting. And you're also setting the expectation from the very beginning that this is what this game is. Now, everybody plays games differently. Some people want a little bit more antagonism between the party. I'm okay with a little bit of that, because that's just natural that a team's going to fight within themselves. But I don't really like a... the game's not really great for PvP. It's just I don't want things to be in constant antagonism. I'd rather everybody sort of decide what's going to be the thing that unites them. And so that first session, those first few sessions are really more about either... My games are weird, I guess, because I don't necessarily... The reason that the group is together isn't the reason that they're going to be together in the long term. I'll just pull an example out. Let's say that they're like, well, we know each other because we're all friends and we're traveling across the country to go visit, we're traveling back home together and we just all know each other. That's how they start. But as a result of that, as a consequence of them just happening to be together in those first few sessions, there's going to be an adventure arc that begins to kick off, and some deeper threads that they can pull on that actually gives them another deeper sense of forming as a team. Like, that's what they were doing together, but actually now they've found a deeper purpose through this seemingly random chance. Like, why were they were the only ones on the road when they heard the bell toll and people screaming, and they went to go help, or they were the only ones with even some sort of weapon in the tavern, and so they went to go run off and help. Whatever that situation is, yeah. So those first few sessions, it should be a really approachable, I think, easy adventure. But it's less about drawing them together and more about like, wow, this is crazy that we're all doing this type of adventure. And it gives them a chance to feel heroic. It gives them a chance to kind of earn that heroism reputation from their town, from the NPCs in the world. And for me, at least, it's a place to drop some initial story threads. They can start to say like, okay, well, the goblins they kept writing this god's name up on the wall of their cave. Why did they do that? Or, hey, we caught the kidnappers. One of them got away, but the other one, we picked his pocket, and it's got a list of like, this is like components for spells and people's names. This is weird. Like, there's going to be something that sort of ties into a larger story that they can start investigating, because that's really what drives my game world for the most part, is sort of these threads and seeing what players want to pull on. Gibson, you like a bit of begrudging collaboration too? Yeah, like as long as there's some as long as it's playful, as long as there's playful antagonism, I think it's totally fine, right? It's only when it begins to be like a real issue that it's like, okay, guys, figure this out. And it doesn't have to be big, SwanaSAUR, and also you don't even have to necessarily know what it means yet. You just have to know that there's some clue. I think with one of my one of these actually came in a prologue at the very earliest stage of the game. I run prologues for my players, and one of them, she was a druid, and she was investigating this kind of shrine underground and fought a goblin. So that's a prologue story, right? She's level 1 fighting a single goblin, and amongst her investigation of this little kind of dungeon room that she couldn't proceed any further in, she found what I think I described as like strange sand that didn't belong there. And so she's like, can I collect it? She became a collector, and she still is in the campaign. She collects weird like dirts and sands and labels them and is trying to meticulously understand, which actually mattered because there were some folks from the desert who were sort of sabotaging those places that were bringing sort of foreign soil to different places just as a result of dragging it with them. So yeah, the threads to pull can start from the very, very, very beginning. Granted, that doesn't mean they're going to grab them, but if I mention that there's weird red-colored sand, and then in session 1 or 2 or 3, they're doing something and I mention it again, they all might not, but that one player is going to go, wait a minute, didn't I see some of that stuff in my earlier? And now they're imbuing, like, they're increasing the value of a little throwaway line that you could include in a scene. Yeah. Karen, I agree. I like I said, I'm not a big fan of I think like the player versus player stuff should be really rare and not something that becomes a focal point of anything. I have some patience for it, but